6:30 p.m. Eastern. Shelby's World Live taking off. Questions will be answered cause the queen get it off. Unity is for the black and brown community. Conversation without scrutiny. Hey, we speak from a place of power, no coward. We just making sure the truth isn't overpowered. Black goddess, black queen, no in between. Radio podcast to the big screen. Her smile is everything, can light up a room. She say what she means, that's why we're in tune. Grown woman handles her biz like it is. Discipline, her role model for the kids. Nothing was given, everything she earned. She sat back and learned, and now it's her turn. So stop on by, comment, subscribe. Each and every Wednesday, SW Live.
Shelby's World Podcast.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode of SW Live. We on episode 291, y'all. First and foremost, let's just say episode 291. We almost at 300. We're gonna be at 300 and something episodes before the end of this year is over in 2026. I'm excited. But anywho, the name of today's episode, as you can see flashing across your screen, is Y'all Not Upset Enough. So today we're gonna talk and just have a little dialect, and I definitely want y'all to kind of like walk me through it, talk me through the conversation too, because I want y'all to get just as involved in this one, so we can have an understanding of where we are, what's happening, my girl, what's happening, where we are, and where you may have to go, and what's understood don't have to be said, but certain things do. So in today's things are going to be some stats. We're going to talk today about some stats. We're going to talk today about some of the things that are happening within our people. We got a black woman that had to stand her ground in South Florida this past week. And now everybody calling for her head just because she had to stand her ground. But, same cases, same situations have happened on the opposite end of things. And we've had to sit back and watch where we know that people were literally hunted down and were able to be allowed the stand your ground law to be a self-defense strategy for people who literally preyed on people in their supposed usage of stand your ground. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about I'm going to put up a quick little photo of the stages of the criminal legal system when it comes to black people. Like, shit is out of hand. And that's why I'm saying y'all not upset enough for me. I don't know. It's just not, y'all just not upset enough for me. Just not. It's like, even when we in our spaces as black people, and we're in our spaces, the conversations are not being had enough. It is not enough outrage about these things where our kids are being murdered. Hello, what's up, Jay? What's up, Pooh? Well, you should be, because these people are your age. This is y'all generation that's being impacted a lot more now. It always was young people, sturdy, young, strong people. Almost how your man. What was the man when the man described that young man in that trial when they was talking about putting him into the system because we can use these strong, what was the word? It pissed me off so bad. Good goodness. If y'all know what I'm talking about, when he was describing that free labor, off the backs of those guys, and those boys did some fucked up stuff, so I don't have nothing against for what was happening with them. But the words that this man said as he described what type of usage he was going to get out these black men. Whew. What? Oh my goodness. Yeah, no doubt we are not. And we have to show And I think what I want to see more of is not just the fact that we are angry, but a clear and present understanding that we ready. You know what I'm saying? Like that has to be evident now. That has to be like point blank. That has to be point blank. That outrage when those New Jordans, man, I can't. I don't see, and I don't even play stuff like that. So if that's anytime I see certain conversations, this is gonna get skipped past for me anyway. I just will not even pay attention to certain stuff because that's not where my frustrations lie. I was so mad. Pretty much, she said modern day slaves legally. Yeah, that's what he said. But he said something labor. He called it Jada. Jay, if you can hear me through here, go on TikTok for me and find that video of that trial so you could tell me what he told them young men at their sentencing, what type of labor he was going to get up out of them. Sweat equity. Never mind. He said sweat equity. That's exactly the words he used. He said we'll get a lot of sweat equity out of these young, strapping young boys. They strong, they young. I've never, ever heard them say anything about any type of work being off the backs of they men, of young white boys, ever. I've never heard any type of labor in prison described as sweat equity when they've described anything a white boy is going down for. I've never heard that before in my life. And this is my thing that's going on. But oh my God, y'all done made me forget all about the quote of the day. Oh my goodness. Let me just say this real quick, what the quote is. Mary Frances Withers, Black fatigue, defines Black fatigue as the physical, mental, and spiritual exhaustion Black people experience due to systematic racism, microaggressions, and intergenerational trauma. Okay? That's what we're going to be talking about today. All the things that we are ready to actually make happen. Things we have to change. All that marching and shit. Y'all keep marching. Y'all can march how y'all want to. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to do to make y'all. And yes, and please and trust and believe, we know that marching has definitely done some things. We wouldn't have a lot of these movements, these acts, these rights, any of our things, some of these things that we have had to go through to get them came from marching. So I give my people and my ancestors all the kudos for what they did to make things happen before we got into this the area that we are now. I think that there are no modern day ones that can actually do that now because of the different tracking. Slave trades changed to sweat equity. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, Diallo. That's exactly it. It's different ways now that you have to handle your business. Now, I don't know if your people are just a little bit more scary. It's time. The time has come to distance ourselves from those holding us back who don't want to rebuild Black Wall Street with us. Let them go and fend off themselves. And I mean every last part of that. Mulatto, thank you for that wonderful comment. Yes, absolutely. Is that Todd? It say TJB. I feel like that's what that is. But that's absolutely what we have to do and where we are right now. And for one, it's so many of us that have already been doing just that. Whether or not it's been just because it's not on a national level, just because thank you for confirming for me. Just because so many people is not in every neighborhood doesn't mean that people are not already buying only Black, buying and spending only Black, buying and celebrating only Black. Like, cause that's where you have to be at this point now. Because let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Our children are being murdered at mass numbers now. And I don't want nobody today, I don't want nobody, black, white, Chinese, nothing to say to me today that we are doing it to ourselves too. I know that, you know that about your culture, you know that about your race, you know that about everything. Everybody knows that everybody kills everybody in their own surroundings. We're not talking about that today. What we're talking about is what has to be done to separate ourselves from constant gratification of other people hurting us, and the gratification that they get from it, the satisfaction. Because let me tell you why I feel we're at a point where we have to do a separation of everything now. When we go into our spaces, albeit online, in groups online, you still got people that are able to come in and camouflage themselves to get into these spaces so that they can come in and start taking what they take from those groups and go and put it over here. And now we monkeys. I'll go hang you from this tree. And these things are being said in public spaces that are supposed to be safe spaces. You feel me? You got people that have these content creators, or these people who have themselves as internet advocates or whatever, however we do it, however we speak, however it is, they go out and they're writing their think pieces about what they feel like is happening and how these kids are being harmed and how they're being targeted. Nolan Wells, the young black girl that was recently murdered, body found on the side of the road again. I think that was her body was found on the side of the road. 2 young black boys' bodies were just found on the side of the road. These kids are being hung from trees, and y'all trying to tell us they hung themselves. Shut the fuck up. We're not going for that, because we already know that ain't true. They coming into y'all spaces that we have created just for ourselves to have conversation. And they coming in the comments and they talking shit. I don't care if they bots. I don't care what they are. They're allowed to, because this is what they want us to keep. They're trying to keep feeding off our emotions, and whatever they're trying to do is gonna work regardless, because at this point everybody motherfucking tired. So it don't matter no more. And nobody ain't just finna just stay tired for 5 months no more. Nobody just staying tired for 3 weeks no more. People are outraged because y'all doing it back to back. It's every day now. Somebody hung over here. Somebody doing this. Somebody doing that. Somebody got killed here. Like, come on. Y'all playing in our faces now. Like, purposely in our faces, because everything is televised. It ain't hidden like it used to be before we knew what was going on in Dallas. 3 weeks when we in Florida, we might not know what's going on in Texas for 3 weeks because we might not see it on the national news because we only got local news channels. It's no more like that in 1990s, in the early 2000s. Everything is televised. I don't care if it happens in Alaska. Within 5 minutes of it's happening, trust me, it's online. So you're purposely doing it now to get the attention that you want. So whatever you think you're seeking, I don't know if people really thinking about the fact that it's just because y'all think that things are not going to happen on the front like you think it is. It the fuck is. It is. It's going to be just like that. Whatever has to happen is going to be just like that. It's not going to be no solemn cries, no we weeping and saying, oh no, because y'all bringing it to people's front doors now. It's at the front door. I don't expect everybody to jump online and put out how they handling this or what they supposed to do, but I do expect people to know that it ain't no motherfucking game. I expect all of that. I expect your platforms to be utilized for those particular reasons. All these people that's supposed to be our allies that have shown us that they're not our allies. Who cares? You better get your shit together. You got to go on handle how you supposed to handle up, because baby, it's not going to be all those people that you smiling and Jimmy Bob and all them people faces at work and doing this and all that. All them people don't give a flying fuck about you. I watch my back every day. I never feel safe. I ain't on that type of time. I'm not on that. I don't trust nobody. Eat better, hit the gym, hit the range, read a book, get your money up, get with like-minded people, build a community like the Asians, like the Mexicans, like the Jewish people do. It's 2026. You better have a concealed carry permit. And if you're not prepared, get prepared. It's just that simple. It's no more thinking about it. It's no more how I can do this and why I can do this and not. It's no more that. All that being afraid and God got it. Okay. You got discernment for a reason. Nobody is coming to save us. This is what it is. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand what type of time people on. I don't know. Because these babies that's being hurt and murdered. This last young boy, they got a video flow around on TikTok right now of the young boy that went, that friends left him, I guess the week before, a couple of days before this just happened to Nolan Wells. And another white family picked him up. They left him on the other side of the water, and he told him he couldn't swim, and they left him with a weak ass. He got on this little weak ass jacket. What's wrong? First of all, I'm gonna ask y'all parents something. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all just letting y'all kids go at anybody. It used to be a rule. It used to be a rule, bro. It used to be a rule. Y'all getting too trusting. I don't know if you want to fit into these circles, in these spaces where, I don't know if it's because you like the spaces and the circles that your kids are in. So you're trying to keep them in those spaces because you like being in those spaces too. I don't know what it is that has made you get to a point where you're trusting, because this situation right here is absolutely sad. What are we gonna take from continuing to allow our children to go and be in spaces that we already know they shouldn't be in alone? He don't got nobody over there that look like him, and you just let him go. Y'all just, what's up with that? What's up with that? What's up with that? We already know. We already know when it come to anybody, if it come to him, them or us, they choosing them. They damn near jealous of everything anyway. These people have 400 years. They just celebrated 250 years. But they have 400 of them. All this time, bro, to get your shit together. And we slide in struggling, still smiling. Broke, still smiling. Beaten, still smiling. Torn, still smiling. Beat, broken, bumped. Men bumped in front of their families. Y'all feed fucking kids to fucking alligators, bro. Y'all making carpet and furniture out of our skin, bro. We've been through the toughest of times. This shit wasn't no hundreds of years ago. And y'all still mad. What are y'all mad about? How do y'all come into our comments, into our spaces, and talk shit to us about something that y'all doing to us? Like, what the I never, ever. And y'all, and people constantly try to say it ain't, and people ain't racist. It ain't racist. Y'all always talk about racism. Y'all always talking about fucking racism. Y'all come into our spaces and drop racist shit, racial slurs, attacking our babies, saying this, he should have got this, what about this, how this should have happened, and all that shit because you keyboard thug. Y'all do all that and still mad at us. Still mad at us. They left that baby out there to die. The one that Keita. They left him to die. Now I'm asking what color is the friend before I even clear the activity. I don't exactly. Cause let your kid run faster than one arm. Let your kid get more the little white girls like your kid more. Cause y'all know how much the little white girls love the little black athletes. So they all of them swarming around your kid, and the little white boys that hang with your kid ain't getting no play. My 98-year-old grandma always told me not to trust them. They will kill you and lie about it. That we're seeing it. We're seeing it in broad daylight. We're seeing it in broad daylight. They're not even sweeping it under the rug. They don't even have to hide it. Every last one of those kids don't have a social media account no more. They all have closed off their social media accounts, and they all have lawyered up. Then telling us to stop playing Victim D. We like, these kids are dying, bro. You got this little thug of a little white boy that come into, and these boys got criminal histories. All of them be having criminal histories, and they be the ones that's bullying, walking up doing the bullying. Like everybody finna take that. Even I'm still mad that Carmelo girl white. Y'all don't understand, like, why? And that's another thing. Y'all send y'all, and I'm finna talk to y'all right now, because y'all be trying to send y'all kids to these other schools thinking they're gonna get the better education over there. All they learn how to do is do drugs, easier access to drugs, easy coochie, easy way to pass in classes, because they're gonna make sure the athletes do not fail. Y'all be looking for easy ways, or let me go send them over here because, you know, I grew up over there. So y'all always be trying to separate yourselves from y'all people. And then when something happened, that's when y'all want to run back to y'all people. Black woman shoots white man in parking lot dispute, claims self-defense. That's what the captions say on AtlantaBlackStarBreakingNews.com. Calculated murder or self-defense? That's what Florida investigators are trying to decide. After a woman shot a man over a parking spot, she did not shoot him over a parking spot. He was aggressively approaching her over the parking spot. If you watch the video, let me just go ahead and put that out there now. If you watch the video, he was attacking her over the parking spot. He was walking up on her for the parking spot. All of that happened because he was the aggressor in this actual video. Bart, whatever his last name is D-I-G in a long extra, a couple of more letters after that. 62 was shot Tuesday. He died the following day. Rest in peace, NBC. 6 reported it happened in the parking lot of a Walmart in North Lauderdale. The daughter speaks out and says, since the story has been published, the daughter has spoken out against a legal expert opinion of the shooting. CBS News reported that a black woman who has not been yet identified and the man, which was a white man, got into an argument. Witnesses filmed part of the interaction. In a video from witnesses, you see Mr. D walk quickly towards the woman as she backs away. You can see her grab her gun from her car and point it at him. And the reason why she is claiming self-defense is because she picked up her gun to protect herself and told him to stop walking up to her. And he continued to approach her. Now, at that point, that's what made that self-defense, because now you're continuing to approach me in this scene. The woman remained on scene and cooperated with the detective. She claimed the shooting was in self-defense. One witness told CBS News he was shot to find the parking lot covered in blood. I was walking up and heard a lady screaming. He said she was screaming and she was saying a lot of things. His sister, Mr. D's sister, who did not give her name to the news, said she was devastated by the loss. He was a Christian man and a very good person and would not hurt anyone. She told CBS News that Mr. D was a decorated military veteran who served in Desert Storm, who was also a retired nurse who had practiced for 30 years. His sister added that Mr. D had an identical twin who died years ago. Other information that they're building on the victim card. Stand your ground. Many people online were trying to decide if this shooting was considered self-defense. People online were stating that they believed it was stand your ground. Some people said they feel like it's gonna be hard for it to be a self-defense case. Somebody said over a parking space. Now she may be going to prison. Not worth it. I know it's hard. He is not worth your life. Florida's stand your ground law allows individuals to use deadly force in self-defense. They're saying over a parking spot, but we got Trayvon Martin got murdered over what again? Okay, yeah. We got people literally dying and getting killed for less than, okay? Just for walking on their own property, they getting arrested with the opportunity of almost getting killed and brutally attacked by a lot of these dirty cops who they're reopening up cases for because it's being proven on that, which also brings to my next conversational piece, which is the stages of the criminal legal system. It always starts out like this with an arrest. Non-citizens of color are more likely to be arrested. Point blank, period. There are two sides to the laws. What D say, yep, their side and our side. Stat. Black youths, for example, who account for 17% of the U.S. juvenile population, make up over 50% of arrests for many common crimes. Then it goes to bail. Of people arrested, non-citizens of color are also more likely to receive a higher bail. The stat. For example, after Kentucky implemented a pretrial risk assessment tool to predict an individual's risk of failing to appear in court or committing a crime while on bail, the racial gap in granting of release without bail being between black and white defendants increased from about 2% to 10%. The increase on bail amounts are based on, did you hear what they said? A pretrial risk assessment. You could never have probably been in no trouble before in your freaking life. And based on the fact that they're going to run a pretrial risk assessment on you, and they're going to put in the fact that you're black as a tactic to determine how much more your bail is going to be. Baby, everything's set against us, baby. It ain't nothing set for us, honey. I'm telling you. Charges and pleas. Those who receive higher bail are also more likely to receive more serious charges and less favorable plea offers. The stat. For instance, Denver County prosecutors were found to be twice as likely to offer white defendants the chance of deferred judgment. Sentencing, probation, and parole. This disproportionate impact culminates in non-citizens of color receiving harsher sentences and has lenient probation or parole arrangements. Stat. Black people are incarcerated in state prisons at nearly 5 times the rate of white people. That's the stat. Collateral consequences. Black people also suffer extensive collateral consequences as a result of their criminal record. Stat. For example, men who were incarcerated for more than 6 months were much less likely, 50 to 58%, to have a job a year and a half post-release compared to men who never were incarcerated at 82 to 87%. So if you're never incarcerated, you have a 82 to 87% chance to getting the job over someone who was incarcerated for less than 6 months, who have a less chance, 50 to 58% less chance of getting a job. So everything is set against us. It's been that way from jump. Okay. The legal laws and statutes in this country were never to protect people who are not even considered Ooh, I'm a little baffled right now, y'all, because even reading this is aggravating my spirit. Because yes, you can know things. We live in this. We've dealt with it. Absolutely. A lot of us are dealing with it right now. Every last one of us knows somebody that has been incarcerated. We've seen them either have to fight their way through trying to prove that they were that they were rehabilitated to re-enter society. Some of them couldn't even do that because you can't. There, a lot of them are not going to be given those chances to even prove themselves. And then we've saw so many of them have to take the lowest of the lowest paying jobs. They can barely feed their families. Then they have to, so many of them are being put on child support. And they're trying to even make it their own ends meet. We see so many things that are counted against Black people, bro. We don't have no leverages in this shit. Like, I don't like, yes, you're gonna have some, maybe one. I think the stat said, and don't quote me on this, but I know it was a very low stat. I know it was a stat between 5 to 20% of Black culture, 5 to 20% in Black culture could probably help to popularize and make our economy stable if we all work together. The 5 to 20% that have the means, the billionaires, the millionaires that have the means, that amount of people could help to make it a generational growth in the whole Black community. So that lets you know that this part of the other part of the community struggling. Or they're just not even just struggling. They're just doing their, having their normal 1-2 step. They working, they doing their job, they take care of their families, they're doing the things that they have to do to survive in society. So they're doing what they have to do. People surviving out here, they're taking care of their families, but it's still not at the rate of where we can be able to say, well, let me take what I have and put it in with what a billionaire got or what a thousandaire got. You know what I'm saying? We all have to do it together. It has to be a commonized thing. We do have to make it something that we're all willing to invest into. We have to all do that. And this and like Mr. Mulatto TJB stated on here, the ones that don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. We leave them over there on that side. If they want to continue to be dependent on a society that says, when we done with you, we done with you, let them do it. Let them deal with it. I wish it could have stayed like that I wish, bro, that it wasn't so much jealousy from them, because we could have had all that shit that was going on already. We already had it. We had it in so many areas and in so many parts of this country. And every time we get to a point where we're self-sufficient or getting to a point where we don't want to depend on no other culture, no other race, we get bombed or our people die or towns get flooded. People buried underwater and you be rebuilding towns on top of towns. The legal laws and statutes in this country were never to protect people who are not even considered human beings, which is why we have to go harder to prove our innocence, to prove self-defense, or just to prove that we deserve the same objectives of innocent until proven guilty. However, it has always been the other way around for the Black community. Racial biases exist at each stage of the criminal process, from stops to arrests, through the changes to the charges, to the convictions. There's so many disparities and discrepancies in the system that are widespread. Desperate treatment of changing those things is going to be hard to do for a long time. So in order for there to be any change in how things are brought to our level is we have to actually have people in certain court systems to see to make sure our voices and our rights are being placed on the same standards as others, given the same chances. And you know why it's going to be so hard? Because there's so many dirty people in this country, in the police system. It's so many. It's so many people that's dirty, bro. You got dirty nurses. You got dirty caregivers. You got dirty police. They wear masks. You know when you know you're ashamed of what you're doing when you keep a mask on. Because if you were so proud and feel like you was really like a patriot or you doing something that's really helping this country, why would you be covering your face? Like, what's the whole point of that? Who you hiding from? You trying to keep your job? More than likely, you'll probably get off on a defense and they're going to allow you to walk anyway. More than likely, because everything written for you. So when these things happen, all we're doing is, if we don't stand up and speak up for what has to change and have people in these spaces that are going to help create change, because everybody in these spaces almost now that have that authority and that power, they damn near against us. I can't wait till they get a lot of them people up out of there. It's too many old white people in power. They out of date. They out of touch. They don't know nothing. They know nothing. And we don't need any of those white women to be given no power. None of them don't need no authority, no power, because every last one of them use affirmative action to get the way they at. And then when they get up there, they want to kick affirmative action to the curb just because it has already benefited them for them to get to where they are. They don't need it no more now. Let's get rid of it. Because affirmative action was written for everybody else but them. But they benefited the most. We don't need none of them in power. None of them. They get treated the worst by their men. And because of that, they come to work and treat you bad. They're nasty white. They're nasty people now. They're nasty. They're probably they partners nasty, but those are some nasty motherfuckers right there now. I promise you that. They've come up with so many ways to try to pull out to ride off black people coattail. It's insane. It's insane. Anybody got any questions about anything we discussed today so far? I don't want to miss anything because of my kind of going through what I'm trying to say pretty quickly, but I do want to finish what I'm saying. But if you got anything you want to say, any comments, any questions, definitely drop them. Let me know. So, what some of the things that are going to have to change in the police force when it comes to this, when it comes to us, is increasing police accountability. And that's going to have to come with hitting them in their pockets as well. We need to start when things are happening where they're harming our children while they're in our care, in their care. You have to go and sue the police union. You got to sue their unions. You got to hit their pockets, the insurance companies. You got to do all civil suits when it comes to it. We ain't talking about just civil suits if they're murdered, because we know we can win those things in more than none cases. But even if they're mishandled in their care, you can file civil suits against their insurance companies for harm, endangerment, lack of protection, because that's what the police are supposed to do. But we don't care that if y'all don't think that we human. We don't care about that. We don't care if y'all don't think that that's why y'all do what y'all want to do. We're going to hit y'all in y'all pockets. Y'all going to be broke. Yeah. Because some of these things have to show them differently. We're going to hit you in your pockets, and we're going to have to start shooting the shit at you. That's why that older lady ain't wrong. You walking up on her, threatening her, walking up on her. You're a man. I don't care if you, that's the thing. That's the privilege. You're a man walking up on this black woman, and you think that you just have all our audacity and authority to be walking up into her space. Like, come on, bro. Like, I don't know who raised y'all. Y'all animals. Pure animals. The hatred is real, and we don't understand why, because we don't do nothing to y'all, bro. We get up and go to work every day, live our lives every day. We live our lives every day. And I'm telling you, it's the joy that black people have in their day-to-day lives that have people so upset with us. Because regardless of what's going on, we still have joy. And you hating MFers are upset about that. That y'all hurting our babies. Y'all trampling us. Y'all hurting. Continue. Like, none of this stuff is new. None of this is new under the sun. Every time I read a story about history in regard to what's going on today, is nothing new under the sun. We've been having to go up and fight these battles since the beginning of time. And it's still the same ignorant shit. Y'all not mad enough for me. Y'all not outraged enough for me. We should be ready for anything that's to come. And if you're not, you better get ready. Because like I told you before, ain't nobody coming to save you. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Wednesday and the rest of y'all week. Take good care of yourself. Stay strapped, stay vigilant, and stay ready. Peace.
6:30 p.m. Eastern. Shelby's World Live taking off. Questions will be answered cause the queen get it off. Unity is for the black and brown community. Conversation without scrutiny. Hey, we speak from a place of power, no coward. We just making sure the truth isn't overpowered. Black goddess, black queen, no in between. Radio podcast to the big screen. Her smile is everything, can light up a room. She say what she means, that's why we're in tune. Grown woman handles her biz like it is. Discipline, her role model for the kids. Nothing was given, everything she earned. She sat back and learned, and now it's her turn. So stop on by, comment, subscribe. Each and every Wednesday, SW Live.